Thomas was a clockmaker. His fingers moved with precision. They danced amongst gears and springs. His workshop was in Belhaven, a town that valued time. It was a quiet place. The townsfolk lived their lives by the rhythm of the clock tower. Thomas inherited his workshop from his father. It was filled with the scent of oil and wood. Clocks of all shapes and sizes ticked away. They were a testament to his father's skill. Yet one clock stood silent. It was the masterpiece of the workshop. This clock had stopped the day his father died. Thomas had tried to fix it. He couldn't find the reason for its silence. It was as if the clock itself mourned the loss of its creator. Thomas was determined to unlock its secrets. One evening, Thomas stumbled upon an old journal. It was hidden beneath a floorboard in the workshop, a place he rarely visited. The journal belonged to his father, a man he remembered as a meticulous clockmaker. He opened it with bated breath, his heart pounding with a mix of curiosity and nostalgia. The pages were filled with sketches and cryptic notes, each more intricate than the last. They were more than just technical specifications. They seemed to tell a story. They hinted at something extraordinary, something beyond the realm of ordinary clockmaking. His father wrote about the silent clock, a project shrouded in mystery. He described it as his life's work, a culmination of years of dedication and passion. It wasn't just a timepiece, it was a marvel of engineering. It was a machine capable of manipulating time itself, a concept that seemed almost fantastical. Thomas was skeptical at first, his rational mind struggling to accept such a possibility. He had always believed time to be a constant, an unchangeable force of nature. Could a mere clock hold dominion over something so fundamental? The question gnawed at him. Intrigued, Thomas delved deeper into his father's notes, seeking answers to the enigma. He spent nights deciphering the faded ink, each revelation pulling him further into the mystery. The more he read, the more he realized the depth of his father's genius and the magnitude of his ambition. The clock was not broken. It was a masterpiece waiting to be brought to life. It was waiting to be understood, to reveal its secrets to someone worthy. Driven by his father's journal, Thomas embarked on a quest for knowledge. He visited the grand libraries of distant cities. He pored over ancient texts on horology and alchemy. The librarians were surprised by his inquiries. He seemed like a simple clockmaker, yet his thirst for knowledge was insatiable. He consulted renowned engineers and eccentric inventors. They were initially dismissive of his claims, a clock that could control time. It sounded preposterous, yet Thomas persisted. He showed them his father's journal. The intricate designs and calculations sparked their curiosity. Thomas faced setbacks and dead ends. Some dismissed his father's work as the ramblings of a madman, but Thomas refused to give up. He clung to the belief that his father's work held true genius. He was determined to prove them all wrong. Years passed, and Thomas grew older. His hair turned silver, but his resolve remained. He continued to study his father's journal. He meticulously analyzed every diagram and inscription. He began to see patterns in the chaos. He realized the clock was not just a machine, it was a language. Its gears and springs spoke of celestial alignments and the flow of energy. Thomas had to decipher this language. He had to think like his father. One day Thomas had a breakthrough. He discovered a hidden compartment within the clock's casing. Inside he found a small, intricately crafted key. The key was unlike anything he had ever seen. It was cold to the touch, almost vibrating with an unseen energy. Section 5. A Symphony of Gears. With the newly found key, Thomas felt a surge of hope. It was as if the key held the promise of unlocking not just the clock, but the mysteries of his father's legacy. He carefully inserted it into a hidden slot on the clock's face, his hands trembling with anticipation. The clock hummed to life, its ancient mechanisms stirring after years of silence. It vibrated with a low, resonant hum that echoed through the workshop, filling the air with a sense of history and wonder. Dust swirled around the clock as if stirred by an invisible hand, dancing in the beams of sunlight that filtered through the windows. He realized his father had combined ancient clockwork with a technology lost to time, creating something truly unique. It was a fusion of art and science, a masterpiece that transcended generations. Thomas had studied modern mechanics, but this was unlike anything he had ever seen. He understood the principles of energy manipulation, yet this clock seemed to operate on a different level. He could now decipher his father's work, seeing the brilliance in every gear and spring. Thomas spent weeks meticulously repairing the clock, dedicating himself to restoring its former glory. He replaced worn gears with new ones, ensuring each part fit perfectly. He carefully calibrated each spring and lever, knowing that even the smallest misalignment could disrupt the entire mechanism. He worked tirelessly, driven by a newfound understanding of his father's genius and a desire to honor his legacy. He was like a conductor tuning an orchestra, each adjustment bringing the clock closer to perfection. Each piece had to be perfect, a testament to the symphony of gears his father had created. Section 6. The clock turns back. Finally, the day arrived. The day Thomas had been waiting for, the culmination of years of dedication and hard work. Thomas stood before the clock, his heart pounding with anticipation. It gleamed under the workshop's warm light, casting a golden glow that seemed almost magical. He took a deep breath and set the clock's pendulum in motion, his hands steady, despite the excitement coursing through him. The clock sprang to life, its mechanisms clicking and whirring as if awakening from a long slumber. Its gears whirred and clicked, each movement precise and deliberate. The hands moved, but not clockwise. They moved backward, defying the natural order of time. The air shimmered around the clock, creating an ethereal glow that filled the room. Thomas felt a chill run down his spine, a mixture of awe and fear gripping him. He watched in awe as time seemed to bend around the clock, the impossible becoming reality before his eyes. The impossible had become real. He had done it. He had achieved what many thought was mere fantasy. He had unlocked his father's secret, but something else happened, something he hadn't anticipated. Images flickered in the air above the clock, like ghosts from the past trying to communicate. They were faint at first, then grew stronger. He saw his father, a younger version of him, working diligently on the same clock. He was younger, working on the clock with the same passion and precision that Thomas now possessed. Thomas saw glimpses of his childhood, memories long forgotten, resurfacing with vivid clarity. His father smiled at him through the years, a smile that spoke of pride and love, transcending time itself. Section 7. Time Remembered. Thomas watched mesmerized as the clock spun time in reverse. He saw moments from his past. He saw his mother's laughter and the warmth of his childhood home. He saw the day his father first explained the workings of a clock. He realized the clock wasn't just manipulating time, it was revealing its true nature. Time wasn't just linear, it was a tapestry of interconnected moments. Each moment, once past, still resonated in the fabric of existence. He understood his father's message. Time was precious. It should be cherished, not feared. The past shaped the present. The present, in turn, held the potential to shape the future. His father's clock wasn't a tool to control time, it was a reminder to value it. Section 8. The Heart of Belhaven. Thomas decided to share his father's gift with the townspeople. He carefully moved the clock to the town square. The townsfolk gathered around, their faces a mixture of curiosity and awe. They had heard the stories. They whispered of the clockmaker and his strange creation. When Thomas set the clock in motion, a hush fell over the crowd. The clock spun backward. Images flickered above its face. The townsfolk saw glimpses of their own pasts, long-forgotten memories, loved ones lost, and moments of joy and sorrow. The clock became the heart of Belhaven. It reminded them to cherish the past, live in the present, and look to the future with hope. They learned that time, like a clock, could be a beautiful mystery, and sometimes it whispered secrets to those who listened closely.